Do you see that hundreds of agents raided an apartment complex in Chicago in the middle of the night, taking children out naked and detaining black US citizens? This happened around 1 a.m. at a large apartment complex in the South Shore neighborhood of Chicago. Over 300 agents from ICE, FBI, ATF, and other agents showed up to the apartment complex. They came with helicopters, some people saying they saw Black Hawk helicopters, and it seems like they also came hidden in budget and U-Haul trucks. Officials from the government said that they did this because they were looking for 6 high-priority targets, including suspected members of Tren de Aragua. Even though they never showed a warrant while they were there, and they have not confirmed if they actually detained anyone that is a member of Tren de Aragua. Agents went into nearly all of the 100 apartments that were in the complex. They were busting down doors and dragging people out of their beds. There are reports of kids being zip-tied and being taken out buck naked. Black residents who are US citizens also said that they were dragged out of their apartments. They were held at gunpoint, asked to give their name, date of birth, and asked if they had any warrant. They also separated people, black people in one van and immigrants in the other van. Reports say that between 30 to 40 people were disappeared that night. Activists are trying to figure out who were the people that were disappeared since the government is not giving any information on the individuals. This raid should be a reminder that they're coming for all of us. Look, white supremacists have done a great job of separating the black and Latino community, especially during the last election. They separated us so then they can come and hunt us down. They don't care about any of us because of the color of our skin. And to any white people seeing this and say, not my problem, remember Donald Trump just said that US cities should be training grounds for the military. And they're starting, as always, with black and brown bodies. They're moving to everyone next, white people included. I'm sorry this is happening to our communities, but we need to stick together. Like I've always said, we are stronger together. This is still very much a developing story, so I'll continue bringing information as it comes in.
The kids out too, had them zip tied to each other. Literally laughed, he was standing right here. He said, them kids.
This is how this administration treats our citizens, our children. Earlier this week, ICE agents stormed apartments in the South Shore neighborhood in Chicago. This woman explains that around 9 or 10 at night, she was apprehended at gunpoint by ICE agents. She explains that the ICE agents grabbed everybody and said that they're going to hold everyone, and if anyone has a warrant, even if it's unrelated to immigration, that they're going to be taken in.
They just treated us like we were nothing. It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
They used budget rent-a-car trucks and military vehicles to separate kids from their parents. They were taken by gunpoint, terrorized with flashbangs. They are terrorizing children. They are terrorizing our citizens. They are hoping to create a crisis which will allow them to grab even more power. This is unmoral. It's unethical. It's unlawful. It's un-American.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Pratishu Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen-At video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
I'm sorry, this is what we want? This is what people voted for? For people to be dragged out of their homes in the middle of the night, to have masked men put people in unmarked vehicles, for flashbangs, for children to be in zip ties, for people to be at gunpoint? This is the country you want? You want our government to terrorize its own citizens? I don't understand if anybody says this is what they voted for, how you continue to move the goalpost and your own deplorable lack of moral standards. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care if they're black, Hispanic, Asian, white, rich, poor, it doesn't matter. This type of thing should not be happening anywhere. We should not be declaring war on our own citizens.
Dozens of federal agents from different agencies raided an apartment building in the city's South Shore neighborhood early this morning. Neighbors there report multiple arrests in this latest immigration enforcement action. The people who live there are telling our Sabrina Franza that American citizens were briefly detained. She is live for us on that scene right now. Sabrina.
Marie, inside this building behind me, many of the doors are boarded up after they were broken down during that early morning raid. Now, law enforcement sources tell us that taking American citizens briefly into custody just for their safety is standard protocol, which is what we're hearing happened this morning. Neighbors, though, who were in the middle of all of this say they are shocked to have been treated this way.
They asked me, was I a U.S. citizen? I told them, yeah. I was born here. It was real tight, all right here. And every time I moved, it would hurt.
Patricia Fisher says she was detained by federal agents this morning, claims she was held for hours in a van with other neighbors at 7500 South Shore Drive, while agents confirmed her identity, citizenship, and confirmed she had no active warrants. She describes the scene as she says children were also let out of the building.
No shoes. The kids that had no shirts or no pants on, they just treated us like we were nothing. He said he had warrants for 5 people. I said, so why are you detaining the whole building? He says for the safety of our people.
Ebony Watson watched and filmed what she saw.
And all you see is this whole block full of budget rental cars,
showing a massive show of force and rental trucks used in this mission alongside ICE, FBI, and other federal agencies. The FBI called it a, quote, targeted immigration enforcement operation. Are they at the property? Because we're here. We tried to find the property manager. No one would meet with us or give us any information about what happened.
It's crazy. It felt like we were under siege last night.
Meantime, this Chicago neighborhood is grappling for answers.
They brought a baby out completely naked and wouldn't allow the mother a chance to clothe her child. You know, it's distressing.
Now, we've reached out to ICE, DHS, as well as to Customs and Border Patrol for more information on what exactly happened this morning, who was detained, and why. We're still waiting to hear back from them. Live in South Shore, Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago.
ICE is now detaining African American citizens in Chicago.
Hi everyone. I have been unfollowing and blocking a lot of people lately because of the nonsense that I keep seeing about people in my city. Honestly, at this point, I don't care if people assume that I'm a MAGA or a Trump supporter or whatever, because the funny thing is, I didn't even vote for the man. I didn't vote for him. What frustrates me is the propaganda, lies, and misinformation I see coming from people from the left. Too many people are just reacting to headlines and emotions instead of actually reading and thinking critically. Comprehension is very important. I've lived in several countries, and I didn't live in tourist areas. One time in Turkey, I was at the airport, TSA. They took my passport, and I started wondering, why the hell am I still here? Should I be going through now? Eventually, I found out it was because I had overstayed by 1 day. But ask yourself, how did I find out? A group of 5 to 6 Turkish police officers came in squad deep, and they told me that I had to go with them. And they brought me to their station. There, they explained that I could pay a fine or have the overstay permanently marked in their system or on my passport. And as a Black American woman traveling solo, I was scared as fuck. But I also understood that this is their country. Again, this is their country. Their rules, their laws, and I was just a fucking guest. I'm a guest. I can't just go in their home and rearrange the fucking furniture. How dare I? And now to the Venezuelan gang. How did a Venezuelan gang get into this country? Why were migrants pushed in predominantly Black neighborhoods? Y'all hate to ask these fucking questions and it irritates me. Because I remember last year, some Hispanic neighborhoods refused to accept them. That's why I made a comment under someone else's video some time ago about like how the predominantly Black neighborhoods in Chicago, they're not going to be predominantly Black maybe 10 years from now. It's probably going to be little Venezuela, to be honest, because I'm already seeing it. Now, the girl who I showed in the beginning of this video, you are fear-mongering. And you're not going to fear-monger me, baby. You're not. In the South Shore area, a building was raided. In the Tren de Aragua, I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't care. Anyway, the Venezuelan gang, they were found inside. Why the fuck did you not mention that in your video? And you also forgot to mention that the Black people, as you say, were released. They were released. Y'all are pissing me off trying to push a certain fucking narrative because you want us to go out and protest for y'all. Or you're trying to make us Black Americans trying to say that we're immigrants. We're not immigrants here, baby. My parents are from here. My grandparents are from here. My great-grandparents are from here. My great-great-grandparents from here. I got roots in here, baby. I'm not leaving. And another thing that gets me tight is the amount of Black folks that be caping for Brandon Johnson and Governor Pritzker. Y'all be calling out billionaires all the time, but y'all not calling his ass out? That man, Pritzker, has a history, allegedly, of being a crook. A simple Google search would do y'all justice. Y'all saying that this man has done a lot for Black people in the city? Bitch, where? There are fucking food deserts in predominantly Black neighborhoods. They're going to cut the public transportation, CTA routes, in predominantly Black neighborhoods. Not only that, y'all want us to continuously protest for y'all when Hispanics have been very racist towards Black folks, especially in the city of Chicago. I have family that work in that industry, and they've experienced discrimination firsthand from Hispanics. Not only that, I have experienced discrimination as well. I've personally been called the N-word multiple times by Hispanics, and I had to tell them to stop, and they want to fight. They want to fight to continuously say the word. I've also experienced discrimination towards Hispanics when it comes to getting a job, getting increase in pay. That pisses me off about some Chicagoans is when y'all are saying there's no crime here. And I'm seeing people post videos of them being in a safe neighborhood, and I'm realizing like, oh, I know that neighborhood. It's the gaslighting for me. And I remember Trump saying he was going to send the National Guards here, and I was debating because I'm like, I could see how this can go in two different ways. But unfortunately for me, I would want it because I got stuck in a crossfire on 76 and Evans. Broad daylight. I was in a state of shock. Luckily, this elderly man pulled me to the ground. He saved my life. Not only that, my brother was gunned down and unalived this past June. So should I still say, no, we shouldn't accept any help in this city, no help? Even though I experienced these two major things, well, it's been more. I have more stories about experiencing gun violence here. And another thing, Governor Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson, what happened to that funding? That money that was supposed to help us stop the crime in the city of Chicago? Y'all keep on saying Governor Pritzker is the best governor here, woo woo. I'm thinking how? How, Sway? Because that governor, I know for sure that he definitely participates in the systemic racism in this city. But of course, because he's a Democrat, y'all gonna give him a fucking pass. This is another reason why I won't protest for, how you guys say, illegal migrants, whatever. Because the comments that I've been hearing and seeing from them about how like, oh, they really want this country to, when it does, they can just go back home. I've heard this comment multiple times. And okay, if it does, the American empire, okay, what about us? Are you caring and worrying about us as well? Do you care about our well-being and what's going to happen in this country? Of course not.
It's hard to see, but there's a helicopter right there on this building. And that helicopter has just inserted snipers for the protection of all these federal agents you can see entering the building. What they are after, 6 particular individuals associated with Tren de Aragua. They say these individuals are responsible for dealing in guns, long guns and handguns, as well as drugs. The helicopter is now just taken off. This is really an unprecedented show of federal force. Almost 300 agents coming to get control of this building and the people inside.
Chicago under siege. Black Hawk raids a Tren de Aragua hideout. And yes, that did occur. Hey, this is Keith, the law enforcement OG. 15 plus years experience in law enforcement, and we're going to talk about this right here and right now. So, the image you just saw are not from some war zone overseas. Not at all. They're right in the state of Illinois, to be exact, the city of Chicago. Federal law enforcement, well, with the full weight of ICE and DHS, they carried out a massive raid on a South Shore apartment complex, a stronghold taken over by the members of a violent Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. Now, nearly 300 agents were involved, and for the first time in Chicago's history, a Black Hawk military helicopter was deployed, repelling agents onto the rooftops while tactical teams stormed the actual apartment complex. Now, dozens of people were detained. Some were identified as high priority targets. Let me repeat that, high priority targets. Individuals connected to the Tren de Aragua, a gang that has spread terror in South America and now embedding itself here in American cities. And here's the embarrassing part. The embarrassing truth is this. This just didn't happen overnight, and you know it didn't. This gang has been operating right under the noses of Chicago's so-called leadership for a long time. Yes, Brandon Johnson, the feckless mayor who kept telling the world there's nothing wrong with his city, has allowed chaos to fester while pretending Chicago does not have a problem. Well, the federal government just proved otherwise to the world. To the world. This is what happens when weak leadership turns a blind eye. When City Hall refuses to act, Washington, D.C. has no choice but to step in and protect the people of our country. And now, thanks to the actions of the federal law enforcement, the people of Chicago are finally getting protection they deserve. Protection their own mayor, their own city leaders should have provided a long, long time ago. This is sad, but yet it's a good day, because now the leadership of Chicago has definitely been exposed, and the people of Chicago are getting relief. These thugs and criminals are being arrested and being taken into custody. Hey folks, this is the Law Enforcement OG. Give me a follow, repost this, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. And if you are in the Chicago area, let me know how you feel about this. Hey, have a wonderful day. I'm out.
Levanta el pie. ¿Cómo te llamabas? Ok, mira derecho. Mira derecho. Ludwig.
Sí. Jean-Pierre Parra Pérez.
Levanta el pie. ¿Cómo te llamabas? Ok, gira derecho. Gira derecho. Ludwig
Sí, Jean-Pierre Parra Pérez.